my beautiful divas, it's Du here. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, hi and welcome. So today we're going to be switching things up a little bit, and I'm going to be creating a Gel X set that is inspired by the 2000s vibes. So this video is going to be a little chattier than normal, so I do hope you guys enjoy hanging out with me while we work on these nails. So without further ado, let's get started. We're skipping prep today and diving straight into the application because these are actually going to be pop-off sets. I'm using a Jello peel-off base coat to apply the Gel X tips, and you guys, I know that the application is absolutely atrocious right now because I'm literally popping these right off after filming anyways, and I can potentially use those old designs and techniques as inspiration for future sets. So actually I was doom scrolling on Instagram the other day, and after seeing like so many nail artists posting these beautiful designs that are inspired by the 2000s wallpaper, and when I saw that I was like, okay, I have to do this. So I ended up going on Pinterest and started pretty much digging for wallpaper designs that I liked, and I found these like 5 designs, which I am going to be painting today. This particular design, I am going for a French tip kind of vibe. After going in with the new jelly on all my nails, I layered a second coat and noticed that the color was a little too dark for me. So I just went in with another layer of pink jelly to give it a little bit of a contrast and brighten it. But not sure, you guys. I think my complexion is getting slightly darker than usual. We're finally getting a bit of sun here in the UK, and it's been such a treat, honestly. Like, it's been so nice to see the sun for once. We don't really get much around here in the United Kingdom, so when it actually is out, like, everyone's mood instantly like lifts. Honestly, I didn't really realize that seasonal depression can affect someone. Whenever the sun comes out, it feels like the whole country like collectively remembers what vitamin D actually feels like. Here's how the base color is looking like so far, and oh my gosh, you guys, I'm really digging the square nails at the moment. I think I need to keep creating more of this shape in particular because I do really struggle a little bit with it, but hey, practice makes perfect, right? Now for the thumb, we're going in with this wallpaper design, and I'm gonna start off with a white French tip as a base, but I wanted the smile line to be a little faint. This style was super popular back in the day. It also is my favorite Frenchie like ever. Though looking at it now, I kind of wish I did a straight line instead for more of a Y2K feel to it, but maybe I could do that in a future set. So these are the colors I'm going to be using for the design. I've always struggled painting like really super precise details like this though. It has definitely been like a learning process, but honestly I feel like this is probably one of the most tedious and challenging sets I've ever done so far. After I finished painting these, my wrists were actually starting to ache so bad. Maybe it's because like I'm not using my hand as much in that specific motion for really tiny detailed brush strokes like that. I'm kind of glad that I pushed through though. Because of that, I feel like I am now more ready to tackle harder and more difficult designs in the future and learn different techniques that I can incorporate in my future sets. This actually kind of reminds me of the chopper nail set I made for that One Piece video, and I painted the character as detailed as I can, and I literally had to draw Chopper on a baking paper and painted him, then I peeled him off and then adhered him to the nail, which is one hell of a DIY sticker if you ask me. But every set I create though, despite it being complex, allows me to grow in a way. When I was looking for those wallpaper designs on Pinterest, the nostalgia seriously hit me so hard. The more I scrolled, the more they reminded me of the fancy, like, back-to-school notebooks. And when I was a kid, my parents would always get me those. I was so spoiled, I swear. Like, I was the coolest kid in class for just having those notebooks. I remember, like, a lot of girls would be like, oh, can I borrow this notebook, or can I look at that one? And I was like, stingy me, I would never. But I don't really know if this is relatable for you guys where you're from, but I know in the Middle East at least, they weren't really super strict about like what kind of notebooks you used. This is really heavily dependent on what school you went to. For the index finger, I'm actually going in to paint this design. And this design has a lot of circles, which for some reason I thought freehand painting it was a good idea. Honestly, I should have just used a dotting tool instead to try to paint the circles. As I was painting, I kept thinking about how much of you guys left thoughtful feedback from my previous video, especially when it came to safety relating to gels on skin. And I do want to say thank you so much for taking your time to watch and comment and share that advice. And it really goes to show how sincere you guys are and caring, how concerned you guys are as well. So every single comment really helped me learn and improve. And a few of you pointed out that I should be wearing gloves because touching gel can actually cause contact dermatitis, which is incredibly alarming. And since then, I've invested in some nitrile gloves, and I also picked this product called Gloves in a Bottle. It's basically like this protective moisturizer that adds an extra barrier under the glove. I know it's a little overkill, but just in case if I get cut skin or damaged skin underneath the glove, and then the glove may potentially rip or dissolve or melt from the acetone or whatever. Although I do want to mention that you will not be seeing these changes unfortunately in this video, because I did record this video a month ago in advance, way before I received the comments in the previous one. But in the future videos onwards, you will definitely be seeing those changes. And you guys also gave me amazing recommendations for base coats. Most of you guys suggested the Beetles brand, and after looking into it, I checked on Amazon and stuff. It's definitely the more affordable option for me at the moment. Plus, I was looking at the selection on Amazon. They actually did have a HEMA-free version, and I just ended up grabbing that, so I'm really excited to show you guys in the next video. Guys left a super detailed comment which is explaining different high-end gels and their viscosities and what I can use them for, and that really inspired me to start this kind of, I would say, inventory list of prep products. That list I can use so that it's the end goal of how I wanted to upgrade my tools over time. I didn't just do it for base coats, but I was doing more research on what would be the best tools to use, or what would be the best dehydrators, so on and so forth. Anything to do with basically the prep aspect of things, because I feel that's the most important part of actually any manicure, and I would really like to build that up and upgrade it over time. It's just when I was doing the math over that though, my wallet is definitely going to cry. It's a slow process for sure. And for the middle finger, this is the design I'm going to be painting, and we're going to be using a yellow to match the background. And also, while I was painting these nails, me and my partner were binge watching Devil May Cry, if you guys heard of the series. It's actually a new series on Netflix, and it just dropped, and oh my gosh, so good. I genuinely was so surprised by how much I loved it, because it's actually an anime take, which I wasn't really expecting. So basically I grew up playing those games when I was young, like all the DMC games. Honestly, the main motivation was watching DMC the whole time, because this set literally took 3+ hours because I'm not used to painting this much details, period. So after curing that, I went in with a matte top coat so that I can create this like orange ombre using pastels. If you guys are curious on how I did it, I did explain it in my previous video, and honestly it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just you layer pastels with a blending brush on top. It just takes a little more time and layering. Same with eyeshadow or pigments, whatever you guys have at home. Once the ombre is done, I basically painted this butterfly inspired by the wallpaper, and obviously I freehanded it, and then I basically added like dollops and swirls to tie the whole design together. For the ring finger, I'm actually going to use this design. I'm going to be using a beige for the Frenchie for this one. And this turned out genuinely one of my favorite nails out of the set. I don't know why, but it really reminds me of like liminal spaces, like the carpet from the back rooms or something. And I really love that eerie vibe so much. Just anything to do with like creepy, eerie, horror feeling is pretty much right up my alley. So using these colors, I'm actually going to be creating the pattern. I think that's actually when I started getting super tired. My fingers are starting to ache. As I mentioned before, like maybe my hand's just not used to me painting for such a long time with so many details in hand. So, and obviously the set did take 3 hours, so yeah. finally for the pinky, I'm going to be using this design. The same pink that I used on the previous nail, I'm going to be using that as the base. And I know how simple this design is, but honestly it is really refreshing for how detailed the other designs were. This is really nice change of pace, because I think if I did a detailed design on this one, how tired I am would definitely be reflecting on my work, and I really don't want to do that. Once the Frenchie's done, I'm just gonna grab this green and just paint these diagonal lines. So I'm going to be using some charms as well on top of this design. I know it's a little too much, but I feel like I need to go all out on this one, you know what I mean? So I did put a black star on the index finger, but then after looking at it for a while, I was like, okay, this is too many stars. I need to take it down a notch. So I did end up removing that. I'm just gonna go in with a brush and just smooth the gel around the charms. And I am taking your advice, you guys, here. I got a lot of comments from my previous videos saying that I need to smooth out with a small brush or a thinner brush to like smooth out all the bumpy gel around before I top coat it, so I did just that. So now finally for the top coat, and you guys, I really need to apply this carefully, because with this particular shape, this is not forgiving if I make a mistake or make it lumpy or bumpy. If you move any angle with this particular shape, it starts to reflect and show, and it just does not look good. Like, as you guys can see here, I think I layered too much matte top coat on the middle nail, and I am so hating the fact that it's just like really bumpy. And maybe I shouldn't have pointed it out, but you know, we're learning from our mistakes. But overall, they're looking super adorable so far. So here's how they turned out, and I am genuinely so obsessed with these. I am so sad that these are pop-offs. Thank you guys so much for listening to me chit chat and watching this video. It means so much to me that you guys are actually watching this and taking your time, just posting comments and giving me feedback to grow. I really appreciate you guys all, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!